Thanks for joining us. You're watching TVC News at 4. I am Precious Amayo. We begin from the National Assembly, where the Senate has announced that it will begin the screening of the newly appointed service chiefs tomorrow, 29th of October, reversing its earlier decision to conduct the exercise next week. The announcement came shortly after the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, read a separate correspondence from President Bola Tinubu seeking the confirmation of appointment of Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede. Senator Akpabio said the change was necessary to enable the military chiefs to assume their duties immediately. President Bola Tinubu had asked the Senate to give expeditious consideration to the confirmation process to ensure continuity and effective coordination of the nation's security architecture. Meanwhile, Niger Delta former agitator Endurance Amagbe has commended President Bola Tinubu over the appointment of the new service chiefs. Mr. Amagbe described the appointment as necessary and one intended to arrest the growing trend of insecurity in some parts of the country. Popularly known as Adaka Boro II, the former Niger Delta agitator renewed faith in a Tinubu-led federal government and expressed optimism that the latest appointment will result in a more formidable armed forces that puts Nigeria on the global map due to the pedigree of those at the helm of affairs. While congratulating the new Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Waidi Shaibu, among others, for their emergence, Mr. Amagbe urged the CDS to reopen investigation into the Okuoma incident in Delta State, where soldiers were killed, saying that till now, no one has ever faced prosecution despite the mass arrest, detention, and manhunt for perpetrators. Staying with security matters, Governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, has commended President Bola Tinubu and the security agencies for their support in rescuing 23 abductees from the state. The governor, while receiving the victims after their freedom, promised continuous efforts to rid the state of criminal elements who are behind the abductions. Governor Abdulrazak appreciated the army and the new brigade commander for the deployment of troops to the state to get rid of the hostile non-state actors, pledging sustainable support for the armed forces. He said government will deploy forest guards to maintain peace and pave the way for the return of farming activities immediately the army finishes the cleanup operation in the affected areas. The Beram Community Association in Abuja and the Plateau State Indigene Development Association are calling on the federal and state governments to take decisive action to end the killings and insecurity in Plateau State. A call was made during the inauguration ceremony of the 14th Executive Committee of BECA in Abuja. Both the newly inaugurated president of BECA and his predecessor appealed to the federal and Plateau state governments to strengthen collaboration with community leaders, traditional rulers, and security agencies to restore peace in the state.
We want the federal government to take the issue of the creation of state police very, very serious. Let them do it as fast as possible. I want to believe by the time we have state police in place, it will go a long way in solving this issue, because once you have state police in place, the people that will be operating as officers and men of the state police will be people who are known to the areas where these killings are happening. And so they'll be able to take care of or react swiftly because they know the terrain.
We are one of the people that are worst hit, and we have continued to say that both the government and all the security forces that are responsible should wake up from their slumber. We don't want to hear we're on top of the game or we'll bring them to book any longer. What we need is get the criminals and let the people have peace.
Killing, the unwarranted killing of the indigenes of Plateau State across board, from just north, central, and south. There have been killings here and there by so-called unknown persons, and sometimes they coin it as farmers-herders clashes, which is not acceptable, because somebody in the midnight, there's no farming going on, and yet people will come and attack and kill innocent souls, pregnant women, young children.
In other news, the Energy Commission of Nigeria has signed a memorandum of understanding with Unidaco Limited at London for an initial €100 million investment in Nigeria's energy sector. The Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, Mustafa Abdullahi, says the signing held at the House of Lords, London, during the Renewed Hope Global Dialogue UK edition marks a major milestone in advancing Nigeria's clean energy transition. Mr. Abdullahi emphasized that the partnership underscores the Commission's commitment to expanding renewable energy access, drive innovation, and strengthen Nigeria's capacity to harness clean technologies. He also mentioned that the move aligns with President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, particularly on sustainable energy solutions as a catalyst for economic growth and development. The Lagos State government says it will partner with youth and all stakeholders to build climate resilience and ensure the state stays ahead of the curve in managing the effects of climate change, considering its unique position as a coastal state. Special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Climate Change, Titilayo Oshodi, disclosed this while speaking to TVC News on the impact of youth in delivering the message of building resilience against climate change. On his part, Executive Director of Inspired Youth Network, Ayomiko Lubode, says it will continue to bring together relevant stakeholders in partnership with ActionAid and other development partners to drive home the message of climate justice in Nigeria.
The youth is a very, very strong demographic to engage and to connect with, especially when we're talking about change and in the management of behavioral practices. When we're talking about climate change, lifestyle is a huge part of what we want to establish. More importantly is the fact that the governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is very, very inclusive. The themes agenda that has been advanced to another level into the plus has the youth and the empowerment and inclusion into the framework for driving this economy into the next phase, especially on a global practice level.
Lagos is one of the few states in the southwest that has a special advisor for the on climate change, which means the state is really interested on the topic of climate change, and the state has also invested a lot on it, organizing different programs and support for initiatives, climate organizations, and young people who are taking climate actions in the community.
The Grassroots Movement for Tinubu, a formal support group for President Bola Tinubu in Ondo State, has inaugurated its ward and local government executives in Ondo East and West local government areas. Speaking at the occasion, the State Director General of GMT, Saka Yusuf Ogunleye, said the movement's mission is to project the achievements of President Tinubu's administration and consolidate grassroots support ahead of his second-term bid. He asked the new executives to embark on intensive grassroots sensitization and political education in their various communities. Mr. Yusuf Ogunleye commended the Minister of Interior, Lubumi Tunji Ojo, for his commitment and consistent support for groups working toward the president's re-election.
This election is about Mr. President. I want to thank you for being here as part of us, GMT members, who want to go to look at credits of Ondo East and work for Achiwaju, who believe in one Nigeria, who believe in Ondo State, who are real people of Ondo East. We want to thank you.
Our people troop out in Ondo East here. And the same thing applicable in all other 18 local government where they have been visiting ever since they have started inaugurating the world air schools and local government air school. Ondo State, we are good to go. As far as Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for second time.
And you can see the large turnout of our people from all the wards in Ondo East who are here to be inaugurated to key into the agenda, the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President through GMT as a support group. And of course, here we have people who are ready, who are standing township Mr. President to say that his election come 2027 is going to be massive, and of course Ondo East will also deliver massive votes.
That's TVC News at 4. For more updates on the stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. We also have updates for you on WhatsApp and Telegram at TVC News Nigeria. On YouTube, we're live at TVC News Nigeria.